Collectors, and welcome to DC Coin World International Coin Channel. Today we're going to take a look at a 2-pound coin that came out before the current circulating ones, and that is the 2-pound coin from the United Kingdom from 1986. But first, let's talk a little bit about the 2-pound coin and the history of the 2-pound coin. This one we're looking at here, of course, is that technology version from 1999, and many of you know that, of course, the 2-pound coins started coming out again in 1998 as these bimetallic, two different metals coins. It says 2 pounds at the top, 1999 at the bottom. This is the technology design. When these first came out in 1998, they just did a bunch of them. 91 million in 1998. In this 1999 version, they did 33 million of it. It's worth its face value. If we look at the edge, we see that it has what they call an encused legend. So this, and what it actually says is standing, you can see that right, on the shoulders, I got to get it just right, of, let me see if I can get that better, giants. There you see giants down there at the end. Standing on shoulders of giants, and then we tip it over, we see that it is, of course, Queen Elizabeth on the front. It says Elizabeth II, Dea Gra, or by the grace of God, Queen and Defender of the Faith. And this, of course, is what they call the 4th portrait. And this is the Ian Rank Broadley 4th portrait. And you can tell it's Ian Rank Broadley because we have the IRB down here. Let's magnify that up a little bit. Yeah, so the Ian Rank Broadley portrait, the initials of the engraver are right down here, and this is the so-called 4th portrait. But let's get back to the 2-pound coin. Now, the 2-pound coin was initially a replacement in gold in 1817 for the 2 guinea coin, which was issued by Charles II. The 2-pound coin came in, they tried it in 1817. People didn't really want it. Then 1823, they did it again. And then 1826 and 1831. And then in 1887, they decided to actually do it for circulation. So there is a gold 2-pound coin from 1887, 1893, and 1902. And then they went and made proofs for 1911 in 1937. And those were to commemorate George V and then George VI, but under Queen Elizabeth there hadn't been a 2-pound coin until this one issued in 1986. And if we look at this one, we see this is, of course, a different portrait. And this one, if we look way down in here, we see that there's 3 letters right underneath Queen Elizabeth's neck here. And that, of course, is an R, a D, and an M. And that's the, this is the 3rd portrait, or the Raphael David Makhlouf portrait that we have here. If we look on the front, we see that it says Elizabeth II, Dea Gratia, Regina. So this one, rather than Reg, which it says in the current ones, and Fid, it says Regina and then FD. See how this says Fid Def? That's the FD. Reg is the Regina, so they switched it over. Instead of having it Reg Fid Def, they have Regina FD. We see that it has kind of a beaded outer rim, and this beaded outer rim actually touches all the way around. It's not separated in any way from the coin. If we look at the top, we see that Queen Elizabeth II is wearing the George IV state diadem, or that's what this crown is, and we see the Tudor rose. We see the cross here. And then if we tip it up, and let's see if we can do that, we see that this one is encused also. And this tells us exactly what it is. And so we look here and it says XIII, Commonwealth Games, Scotland, 1986. So this is the Commonwealth Games commemorative, and it's again, it's an encused legend. And guess what's on the back? Well, those of you that collect United Kingdom coins and know about the Scotland coins, kind of know what's going to be on the back of here. And that, of course, is a Scottish thistle. And so we see there's a thistle, and it's surrounded by these leaves of the thistle. This is a Norman Silman. And how can we tell it's Norman Silman? Well, we go right to the base of the thistle, and we see that there's a N and an S here. Look at the color on here. This is just a really nice coin. It has some really nice coloring. If we tip it, we can kind of start to see the kind of rainbow colors. 1986, and we see that it has this, I don't know if you can see it well on here, but kind of in the background, we actually have the cross here too. See how these diagonals come through here? This cross here is actually a version of this cross here. So we have the cross, and we have the thistle on top of it, and then of course again we have the beaded outer rim, but it all touches. Sometimes they don't call this a beaded, they call this a geared rim because it looks really more like gears, and then they have the doubling there. Then of course you see how they have the leaves go over the top of the cross here. This is a relatively, well, I guess you could say relatively rare coin. They did 8.2 million general circulation, and then they did 167,224 of these in the BU version that I have, and 104,000 proof version. So this right here is a BU version, or brilliant uncirculated, and that's why it's so shiny. But you can get this in general circulation if you're really, really lucky, because they did 8.2 million of these in 1986. So look for this out there, and if you get lucky, I've never seen one in circulation, but if you don't get lucky, just buy the year set. I think it costs, you can probably get it for about $12, and this coin itself in that set is worth about $7.50 to $8, perhaps more. All right, well, that's all we have today from the DC Coin World International Coin Channel. Thanks for joining us on the Veterans Day in the United States for our live version of the 2-pound coin from the United Kingdom from 1986.